I'm gonna start by saying I am not a f***ing
Oh, whip your hair back and forth. Oh. We make mistakes? Uh-huh. Yes, we do. I'll get to that. We forgive quickly. How about you get?
At the height of his fame, Shane Dawson was untouchable. He was pulling in tens of millions of views like it was nothing, dropping merch that sold out in minutes for millions of dollars, and landing full-length movies that made him look larger than life.
I made waffles, French toast, bacon, scrambled eggs.
Mom, what are you doing?
I'm getting my hair done, bitch!
His name was everywhere, his face was everywhere, and for a long time, people really believed he ran the whole platform. Shane Dawson wasn't just popular, he was seen as the king of YouTube, sitting on top of a digital empire that looked shiny and unstoppable. But behind the bright lights and massive fan base, something felt off. The truth hiding under all that fame was way more disturbing than most people realized, and the internet didn't catch on until it was already too late. Most people remember the exact moment his career crashed, but barely anyone talks about how deep the issues actually went.
I don't know, how many dollars do you need to bail me out of jail for taking a teenager to prom?
The scandal that finally pushed him off the throne wasn't the whole story. It was just the tip of something much darker. What the public saw was only a small slice of a much bigger problem. And once people started digging, the image of that YouTube king began to crack in a way nobody expected. And what really dragged him down wasn't just one mistake. It was a pattern of strange and gross behavior that kept stacking up over time. Even now, new details still pop up and leave people shocked all over again.
About this, girl? Don't be stupid. Girl, you cannot be calling anyone stupid when you is wearing a fruit basket.
The deeper you look, the worse it seems, and that's what made the whole situation spiral out of control. Shane Lee, also known as Shane Dawson, was born in Long Beach, California on July 19, 1988. His childhood was far from picture perfect. He grew up with a father who was abusive and later walked out on Shane, his siblings, and their mom, leaving them to figure life out on their own. That kind of situation leaves scars, and it shaped a lot of what came next. After his dad left, the family struggled with money for years. Things were tight, and on top of that, Shane was bullied at school for his weight. Dealing with problems at home and getting picked on in public hit hard. So he leaned into humor and started making videos as a way to cope. That escape turned into something bigger when, at 19 years old in March 2008,
I made waffles, French toast, bacon, scrambled eggs, and a pie casserole. I'm getting my hair done, bitch!
he launched his first YouTube channel, Shane Dawson TV. His early videos were mostly wild comedy sketches where he played loud, exaggerated characters like Sheen, Nay, Ned the Nerd, SES, Aunt Tilda, and more. The humor was built on shock value and edgy jokes, pushing boundaries in ways that grabbed attention fast. For example, in August 2008, while he was working at Jenny Craig, Shane uploaded a video of himself pole dancing inside his workplace. The clip also showed his co-workers reading inappropriate passages from a book, turning the whole thing into a chaotic scene that clearly crossed professional lines. When the company found out, they didn't play around.
My seventh favorite bodily fluid! Oh, the monkey woman, you're the...
Shane was fired, along with his mother, his brother, and 6 co-workers who appeared in the video. One upload cost all of them their jobs, and that fallout was serious. Even though that moment didn't slow down his grind on YouTube, it definitely set the tone for what was coming later. He kept pushing limits, chasing shock value, and testing how far he could go for laughs and clicks. Back then, edgy humor was trending hard on early YouTube, and a lot of creators were trying to stand out by being as bold as possible. That risky style got attention fast, but it also built a track record that would come back to haunt him years down the line. Shane's jump from a random kid making videos in his room to a full-blown internet star happened crazy fast. By December 2009, he had already passed 1 million subscribers, which was huge back then. Just a few months later, by April 2010, he was sitting as the 3rd biggest creator on the entire platform. That kind of growth didn't just turn heads, it made him one of the faces of YouTube during its early boom. As the 2000s rolled in, he slowly stepped away from loud sketch comedy and started posting more vlog-style content on his 2nd channel.
Welcome to the Wendy Williams Show.
Yo, man, we got a hot one right here. We got a hot one right here.
My 7th favorite bodily fluid! Oh, monkey woman.
Instead of wild characters, fans got a more real version of him, just talking about his life and everyday thoughts. People loved that shift. They felt like they were seeing the unfiltered side of one of the biggest names online, and the channel blew up fast, pulling in millions of new subscribers year after year. During that stretch, he teamed up with other major creators like 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗄 𝗵𝗵𝗃 and Anna Akana, which only boosted his reach even more. The collaborations kept him locked into the spotlight and made his brand feel even bigger. But by the mid-2000s, the vlog wave started losing steam, so Shane pivoted again, this time diving into conspiracy theory videos. And once again, it worked. Those uploads pulled in tens of millions of views, stacking up numbers and pushing his main channel past 10 million subscribers by July 2017. Then 2018 hit, and that's when he stepped into what would become the most successful era of his entire career. He switched things up again, this time dropping multi-episode docuseries about major creators like 𝗏𝗏, Jake Paul, and Jeffree Star. These weren't basic sit-down videos either. The production quality was on another level for YouTube at the time, with dramatic music, slow zoom-ins, and long emotional talks that made everything feel intense. Viewers felt like they were getting exclusive access behind the curtain, seeing private moments from some of the internet's most controversial personalities. The result? Massive success. The numbers went crazy, and even mainstream media started paying attention.
Doing blackface on YouTube, using slurs, and having characters based on stereotypes about people of color. Content from a specific creator who has been very much guilty of this throughout their 8 years here on YouTube, and that person has a ginormous fan base of over 10 million subscribers on YouTube, and I think upwards of 2 million on Twitter, and a lot of those fans include really young teenagers, which is a big part of why it's so upsetting that this has become normalized for that audience, and a big part of why I wanted to talk about it.
Between 2017 and 2019 alone, Shane gained over 12 million subscribers. That kind of growth is rare, even for top creators. And his influence wasn't stuck on YouTube either. He released 2 books in 2015 and 2016, and both landed on the New York Times bestsellers list, proving his fan base would support anything with his name on it. Back in 2014, he also directed, produced, and starred in a feature-length movie called Not Cool. It felt like a major career move, a step into Hollywood territory. But as big as that moment was, it also sparked his first serious controversy. The film was created as part of a reality competition series called The Chair, where 2 first-time directors were given the same script and told to turn it into completely different movies. That challenge pushed him into a whole new spotlight, and not all of it was positive. Even though Shane technically won the competition, mostly because his huge fan base showed up and voted hard, the movie itself didn't win over critics at all. In fact, it flopped badly. Reviewers tore it apart, calling out the distasteful and flat-out gross humor that ran through the film. Instead of being clever or bold, many critics felt the jokes just crossed lines for shock value. One critic even said the humor was almost always a result of the degradation of minorities or oppressed groups. The film included jokes targeting blind people, overweight individuals, Black, Latinx, Indian, homeless women, and LGBTQ+ characters. That kind of content hit wrong for a lot of viewers, and the backlash was loud. On top of that, the movie also featured several disturbing jokes involving serious topics like SA and inappropriate behavior, which made the criticism even stronger. It wasn't just edgy, it felt careless and offensive to many people watching. Zachary Quinto, one of the producers of The Chair, reportedly found the film so offensive that he wanted no association with the project at all. That reaction alone showed how uncomfortable the situation had become. And it marked the first time Shane's humor faced real industry-level pushback.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really know what it was up until literally a month ago. I knew the term, but I didn't quite know any of the historical, background, and I'm glad that it happened, because now I can learn and move on and hopefully help others who are uneducated and ignorant when it comes to this type of shit.
But the backlash didn't stop with the movie. Once the criticism started rolling in, people began digging through Shane's old YouTube videos too, and what they found shocked a lot of viewers. Clips from years earlier started resurfacing, spreading fast across social media and pulling his past right back into the spotlight. Just like the film, much of his early content leaned heavily on offensive and uncomfortable humor. Many of the characters he played were exaggerated stereotypes, built around race and other sensitive topics. At the time, some fans brushed it off as edgy comedy, but looking back, the tone felt very different. As those old clips made the rounds again, the reaction online was intense and immediate. creators and commentators began speaking up. Other YouTubers, including Francesca Ramsey, publicly called him out and criticized the content. The conversation wasn't small either. It turned into a major debate about accountability, growth, and what should or shouldn't be excused as just jokes on the internet. As accusations of racist behavior continued stacking up, the pressure on him got heavier by the day. More clips resurfaced, more people spoke out, and the conversation around his past content grew louder across social media. On September 26, 2014, Shane uploaded an apology video. But instead of fully owning the impact of his actions and directly apologizing to the communities affected, he said he was still learning and claimed he didn't understand the history behind blackface at the time. For many viewers, that response didn't feel like enough. It came off more like an explanation than real accountability, and that only made the backlash stronger. And the issue with that defense is that it doesn't really hold up when you compare it to how other people his age saw things back then. A lot of people around that same age understood very clearly that blackface was wrong and not something to joke about. Some critics even said, "I'm about Shane's age. I never thought blackface was something you should do. I'm the same age as Shane and definitely said Slash did some cringy stuff when I was younger, but blackface wouldn't have once crossed my mind." That perspective hit hard. The argument that people didn't know better in the early to mid-2000s didn't sit right with everyone. Still, at the time, his apology actually worked for a large part of his audience. Many viewers accepted his explanation and believed he was trying to grow. One comment under the video summed up the supportive side, saying, "It's a sign of maturity and understanding. Shane has made some mistakes. He is acknowledging them, apologizing, and trying to move forward. This is a good lesson for all of us." For a moment, it seemed like the storm had passed. But that controversy barely scratched the surface of what was coming next. As offensive as the racist jokes were, they were only one piece of a much bigger and more disturbing pattern. Shane's habit of pushing limits for shock value didn't stop at racial stereotypes. His older comedy sketches also included deeply uncomfortable jokes about serious topics, like SA, and that's where the situation became even harder for people to ignore. The problem with shock value content is that it never ages well. What might get nervous laughs in the moment can turn deeply uncomfortable years later. Sooner or later, the jokes stop landing and start raising serious red flags. And in Shane's case, that exact shift happened in January 2018, when an old clip from his podcast resurfaced online. In the clip, Shane made extremely inappropriate comments about a young fan. The remarks were widely seen as disturbing and unacceptable, especially considering the age of much of his audience at the time.
Oh, good, she's passed out. Now make me some grandkids. I'll give you two some privacy.
As if that wasn't bad enough, he then made comments that appeared to defend individuals involved in illegal and harmful behavior toward minors. Once that clip started spreading, the reaction was immediate and intense. People weren't laughing anymore, they were deeply alarmed, and the situation escalated fast. This was the moment that felt like too much, even for some of his most loyal fans. People who had defended him for years suddenly looked at that clip and felt genuinely disturbed. The tone online shifted fast. One viewer wrote, "This is wild. I knew Shane made bad comments before, but when I was younger, I would brush it off as dark humor. This is just too far. Wow, this is truly disappointing. Gross."
Yeah. Uh-oh. Never leave your cup uncovered on Degrassi. That's how losers get date raped. Ha! Loser!
That reaction summed up what a lot of people were thinking. Overnight, Twitter exploded with accusations and harsh criticism. The backlash grew so intense that Shane uploaded a response video the very next day titled "Regarding the Rumors About Me." The speed alone showed how serious the situation had become.
What is that? What is that? Is it a banana? What is that?
But once again, instead of fully taking responsibility, he pushed back. He argued that he didn't mean the statements literally and claimed he was playing a character at the time. To many critics, it sounded like another attempt to soften the damage rather than face it directly.
I'm losing my mind. This is oh my God. Okay.
And surprisingly, it worked, at least for a while. The comment section filled up with supporters defending him and praising his explanation. It showed just how powerful his fan base still was during that peak era. But the pattern didn't stop there. Just 1 year later, in March 2019, another old podcast clip resurfaced and went viral. In it, Shane told a deeply disturbing story involving his cat. And once again, the internet was pulled back into controversy that refused to stay buried. The internet reacted exactly how you'd expect when something that disturbing resurfaces. People were shocked, disgusted, and exhausted by the same cycle playing out again. It felt like every time one controversy cooled off, another one popped right back up.
Oh my God. You are so manipulative.
Think of facing public.
You're fake crying. You are fake crying. You are fake crying. That is not real. Oh my God.
And just like before, Shane responded by saying the entire cat story was a joke meant to shock the audience. He insisted it wasn't real and claimed it was just extreme humor taken out of context. But by that point, a lot of people weren't buying it anymore. The bigger issue wasn't just one story, it was the pattern. Over the years, he had filmed himself doing strange and inappropriate things with his pets on camera, including making his dog take food directly from his mouth and other behavior that many viewers felt crossed clear lines. Some of those clips even raised questions about platform rules. So even if that specific story wasn't true, the repeated behavior around his animals made people deeply uncomfortable. Still, all of that was small compared to what was about to happen next. In mid-2020, after the death of George Floyd and the global Black Lives Matter protests, conversations about racism and accountability exploded across social media. People everywhere began revisiting old videos with a much sharper, more serious lens than ever before. And with Shane's long history of offensive racial jokes, he was suddenly back in the center of the storm. This time, the backlash didn't focus on just one group. Viewers resurfaced clips showing him making insulting jokes about multiple racial communities, including full skits and songs mocking Asian and Mexican people. The scale of it felt bigger, louder, and impossible to brush off. The internet wasn't just side-eyeing him anymore. It was demanding real accountability. And as if everything else wasn't already explosive, another old clip started spreading at the same time. In it, Shane and his then-girlfriend were seen speaking to his 2-year-old cousin about topics that viewers found deeply inappropriate. The footage itself is far too disturbing to replay without breaking platform rules, but the reaction online was intense. When that clip resurfaced alongside the wave of racist content being shared, the outrage hit a whole new level. People weren't just criticizing anymore, they were furious. One comment that gained traction said, "I really don't understand how Shane gets a pass on everything he does. He's a 31-year-old man who's treated like a fragile child who knows nothing about the world. No, he is an evil man who is manipulative and a liar. You can't convince me that all his racist sex statements, jokes, and sketches were a mistake. You make a mistake once or twice when it's repetitive, it's who you are."
Everything's a lie. This is why I love conspiracies. I don't even know if these are conspiracies. I just love this shit because everything's a lie. Don't believe anything you see. Everything's bullshit. Everything is companies manipulating us and bullshitting us and marketing to us. It's all fucking crazy. It's all lies.
That message captured the frustration many felt at the time. With the pressure building fast and sponsors distancing themselves, Shane uploaded what became his third and most infamous apology video titled "Taking Accountability." In it, he addressed his past behavior and issued a broad apology, attempting to confront the years of controversy that had finally caught up with him. By this point, Shane had pushed things way past what many viewers were willing to overlook. People were exhausted by the same pattern repeating over and over. Controversy explodes, apology video drops, things calm down, and then another old clip resurfaces. The cycle felt endless, and patience was running out fast. A lot of viewers started asking, how many apologies is Shane going to film before he actually changes? That question hung heavy in the air. Then, just days later, another major twist hit the internet. Tati Westbrook uploaded a video titled "Breaking My Silence," where she accused Shane and Jeffree Star of manipulating her behind the scenes during the dramatic fallout with James Charles. That accusation poured even more gasoline on an already raging fire, and the situation escalated to a whole new level. By now, people were completely fed up with the non-stop drama and controversy surrounding his name.
The way the clips are included seems intentionally edited to appear as though they're from Shane's own investigation, but they aren't because there was never any actual investigation going on here. After another montage where they put 6 clips from different creators back to back, over the next 10 minutes, the only thing of note that happens are the 10 stolen clips inserted without credit.
Every new response, every live stream, every emotional reaction just seemed to add more chaos instead of clearing anything up. The tension online was thick, and this latest livestream only made things spiral even further. Some critics reacted strongly, saying, "This is not the way an innocent person responds to lies. This is not the panic of an innocent man. This is the panic of someone who's realizing how much is about to come out against them." That quote spread fast and reflected how suspicious and frustrated many viewers had become. And right in the middle of all that noise, another disturbing clip resurfaced. In it, Shane was seen making highly inappropriate gestures in front of a poster of Willow Smith, who was 11 years old at the time. The clip reignited outrage instantly. For many people watching, this wasn't just another old joke being dug up. It felt like a serious line had been crossed, and the backlash intensified almost overnight.
turns to me and goes, "Oh, are you Instagramming?" And first of all, how does a 5-year-old, 6-year-old know what Instagram is?
Right.
Which is terrifying. And I said, "Okay, little big, why do you have so many followers?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm a cheerleader." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And she shows me her Instagrams, which are like, first of all, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like, she's like sexy.
Both Jada Pinkett Smith and Jaden Smith spoke out publicly after that clip resurfaced. Jaden tweeted directly at Shane saying, "I'm done with the excuses. Shane Dawson, I am disgusted by you. You sexualizing an 11-year-old girl who happens to be my sister is the furthest thing from funny and is not okay in the slightest bit." That message spread everywhere within minutes. When the family of the child involved steps in publicly, the situation instantly hits a whole different level. And that was the breaking point. Shane Dawson's online empire collapsed almost overnight. YouTube demonetized all of his channels. Major sponsors cut ties. 𝗵𝗵 pulled his merchandise from their website, and Target removed his books from store shelves. The fallout wasn't quiet, it was loud, public, and impossible to ignore. With the backlash reaching its peak and his reputation in freefall, Shane stepped away from the internet completely. For 16 months, he stayed off YouTube, going silent while the storm raged on. But eventually, he returned to the platform and began posting content again, acting as if the chaos that once consumed his career had simply faded into the background. He slowly started uploading again, going back to his familiar documentary-style videos and conspiracy theory content. At first glance, it looked like he was trying to slide back into his old lane. And yes, some of his loyal fans still showed up, enough for the videos to pull in a few million views, but the drop in numbers was impossible to ignore. Compared to the massive audience he once commanded, this was only a fraction of his former reach, and everyone could see it. On top of that, a lot of viewers complained that the new content felt rushed and low effort. The polish and intensity that once made his series feel like big online events just didn't seem to be there anymore. For example, in his video, Conspiracy Theories with Shane Dawson, posted on April 5th, 2023, he explored the idea that products at Trader Joe's and other grocery stores might not be as healthy as their branding claims. Instead of feeling groundbreaking, many critics said it felt watered down and underwhelming compared to his past project. But most people thought the whole premise was painfully basic and honestly pointless. One viewer even joked, "This feels like I'm watching aliens discover grocery stores for the first time." To a lot of critics, the Trader Joe's video wasn't some deep investigation. It was just Shane reacting to how branding and marketing work like it was brand new information. That kind of surface-level content felt underwhelming compared to the dramatic, high-stakes series he used to deliver. And beyond complaints about low-effort videos, new accusations started popping up. Some smaller creators claimed he was borrowing ideas without giving proper credit. For example, YouTuber Kaylin Conrad posted a detailed 30-minute breakdown arguing that Shane's ghost hunting in a haunted city video closely mirrored content already made by lesser-known creators. The side-by-side comparisons raised eyebrows and added another layer of criticism to his comeback attempt. As his return to YouTube failed to rebuild the momentum he once had, the numbers kept slipping. With many uploads losing hundreds of thousands of subscribers and views nowhere near his peak, the gap between old Shane and current Shane became obvious. Eventually, he stopped posting on his main channel altogether and hasn't uploaded there in over a year. Instead, he shifted to his secondary channel, Shane 2, where he continues posting for a much smaller audience that still supports him despite the long history of controversy. But when new videos struggle to even cross 1 million views, it's clear the internet energy that once surrounded him just isn't there anymore. In the end, many people believe this downfall didn't happen overnight. It built up over years of pushing boundaries too far. And when you keep crossing lines again and again, eventually the audience stops giving second chances.